We live in a world that moves too fast. People react without thinking, speak without listening, and rush into decisions just to keep up. In that chaos, real intelligence isn't about how much you know. It's about how you move in the spaces between knowing. It shows up in the pauses, the quiet moments, the ability to slow down when everything is speeding up. The people who consistently handle pressure better than others aren't superhuman. They just practice 5 habits most people ignore. These aren't secret tricks. They're simple, but they feel unnatural because they go against the grain in a culture obsessed with speed and certainty. The first habit is zooming out to see the big picture. When problems hit, most people get tunnel vision. They zero in on details and lose all sense of perspective. But people who make better decisions know how to step back, both in space and in time. A smart investor doesn't panic when the stock market dips. They look at the long-term trends and stay steady. You can build this skill by practicing what some call the helicopter view. Picture yourself rising above the situation. First above the room you're in, then the building, then the city, then the world. Suddenly that frustrating email or awkward meeting shrinks to its actual size. Another trick is timeline thinking. Ask yourself, how will this problem feel in 5 years? Or, have I dealt with something like this before and survived it? The point isn't to pretend everything's fine. It's to right-size your stress and focus on what really matters. The second habit is focusing only on what you can control. Most of us waste mental energy on things we can't do anything about. Someone else's opinion, the weather, the past. The Stoics nailed this idea thousands of years ago. The trick is to redirect your energy to where it actually counts. Picture a surgeon working in a disaster zone. They don't sit around complaining about what they don't have. They get creative with what's in front of them. You can train yourself to do the same with a daily reality check. Draw 2 columns on a page. What I can control and what I'm worried about. Then, rewrite the stuff in the worry column as action steps. The government should fix this becomes, I'll join a local volunteer group. My manager is unfair becomes, I'll start tracking my wins to bring up during reviews. You're not ignoring the hard stuff. You're just focusing your energy where it can make a difference. The third habit is practicing silence and not just staying quiet. Real silence is active. It means choosing not to react right away so you can actually listen and think. In a tense meeting, the person who speaks the least is often the one with the most control, not because they don't have ideas, but because they're watching, learning, waiting. Journalists use this trick all the time. After asking a tough question, they stay quiet. The longer the pause, the more likely the person being interviewed fills the silence with something they weren't planning to say. Silence can also be a solo practice. Many top leaders block out quiet time. No emails, no talking, no social media, just to let their brains catch up. One CEO starts every meeting with a full minute of silence, not for mindfulness, but to cut through the small talk and get to the real conversation. In this way, silence becomes a tool, a way to hear what's actually going on beneath all the noise. Next is pausing before responding, the key to not making things worse. Most people react the moment something hits them, but between what happens and how you respond, there's a tiny gap. That's where your power lives. Think of a trial lawyer. When a witness says something damaging, a good lawyer doesn't jump in. They wait, let it settle, then take it apart bit by bit. That pause isn't weakness, it's strategy. You can build this habit with little physical cues. A diplomat might touch the roof of their mouth before answering a tough question. A poker player might always take a sip of water before betting. It's a way of stopping yourself from reacting on autopilot. That pause lets your emotions cool down and your logic kick in. It gives you the edge to act smart, not fast. Finally, there's asking better questions. Most people think intelligence is about having answers, but the smartest people are the ones who keep asking, especially when things don't add up. Detectives reopen cold cases not by solving them right away, but by questioning everything the original investigators assumed. Why was that witness trusted? What evidence was ignored? Good questions pull back the curtain on what's really going on. One tool used in top consulting firms is the 5 whys. Ask why something's happening, get an answer, Then ask why that's happening, and keep going until you reach the root problem. A company might think low morale is about pay, but 5 layers in, it turns out the real issue is a culture that rewards overwork instead of results. This habit takes humility. You have to be okay with not looking smart all the time. But that vulnerability is what leads to real breakthroughs. These 5 habits work together like gears in a machine. Zooming out gives you perspective. Focusing on what you can control directs your energy. Silence lets you pick up signals everyone else misses. Pausing gives you time to respond with intention. And asking questions helps you cut through the surface and get to the truth. On their own, they're powerful. But together, they build something bigger. A mindset that turns confusion into clarity and chaos into strategy. This is what quiet strength looks like. The kind that doesn't need to show off. It doesn't race to speak, doesn't demand attention, doesn't panic in uncertainty. It observes, it adapts, it waits, and then it acts with clarity, with impact, with precision.